Because I can
Right.
what happened at the end.
I guess black and white.
Oh, alright. Well, we are back with Mokhul Empire. We're on our 56th session. I'd say probably about halfway, maybe. But who's doing the catch-up this week? I don't know.
Nobody killed the God King once. What do you want us to do? Halfway.
This game is all about how
Halfway
many
through.
times you can kill the God King. You
I
get a
didn't
one-up.
know it was like a score rush.
Like, yeah. So who's doing the catch-up? If none of you do it, I'm going to make a rule that I get to just randomly give you wild magic surges instead of inspirations.
Oh, nobody do catch up.
Yeah, no one doing the catch.
That sounds amazing. Even I was expecting that from this session anyway.
I've shot myself in the foot with a +1 crossbow.
I don't remember what we did at the start of the session.
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with. I can remember the end. And I bugger
At the beginning of the
Oh
session,
no, we had just captured the Baron. Not the Baron, the noble. And taken him to Grilda's mansion for interrogation. Oh wait, did we already interrogate him? When did the session start?
This is brilliant. Alright, so we started as Makra was
as we killed him, as we had killed him. So he went to hang him up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Went to gibbet him.
Yeah, I do remember that now. Elsef had a sandwich. Was watching Grilda's family have like family drama or something. While Makra was really trying hard to have a dude hang from a bridge. Honestly, I don't think the result matters, and I don't remember the result of if this dude is hanging from the bridge or not. But I don't.
They're just hanging outside of the pub instead.
But I don't think he removed the silencers, manacles. So that's that's a big point.
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned actually doing that.
Yeah, you should have. Because those are really useful. We don't have them anymore.
I thought we'd have done that like before we took his body out to hang out.
We didn't say so.
Well, we didn't say so, no.
We did not say so. After that, we, in our mastery of the game called Dungeons & Dragons, split the party. Where one half of our group, Makra and Elsef, went to the execution of Best Boy and his two friends. Darioso and who cares about the others, really?
Ha!
And then the rest went to scout out the God King's son quarters. Just snuck in there.
Yep.
Where they found him naked.
Which in a chest.
In a chest. Which, you know, even if he wasn't in the chest, being naked was absolutely fair if it's at his own place. Anyway, Chester gave him a massage, and then he exploded.
Sometimes does happen. It's an occupational hazard.
Apparently Chester has just mastered the pressure point technique.
No, he's used to people exploding in a different way, but...
I think we should just stay away from Chester's hands of death.
Naturally.
Bad touch. So because he was there, it was quickly figured out that the one at the execution wasn't him, but a Christ zealot trying to start a war. Which brings me to my next point. Elsef and Makra are fighting a Christ zealot out to start a war. Or not fighting her, because she immediately plane shifted both of us.
Oh, screaming.
Right. Then the rest of the party caught up. Zux rushed in immediately and threw some fireballs and was plane shifted. Chester immediately ran in, was immediately knocked unconscious and plane shifted, and Grilda didn't even show up.
Seems to summarise that very quickly. I thought more happened in the middle.
Yeah.
I feel like I missed like 90% of the plot, but that's the big things I was really tired last week and no one else did the catch-up, so fuck you.
Yes, okay, so one thing you need to know is the Voids... Well, Amelie was obviously executed.
Oh, yeah!
In the wind, and Vivian was executed, but soon after her death, the Void Soul in her escaped and attacked Hadar and merged with her.
Hmm.
Hadar is the new Void Soul of the planet.
Yeah, she's wearing a lot of hats. Head of a religion, leading a university, and being a void. So I don't think she's balancing all equally. And I think that's
There's a lot of
worrisome.
plates to spin.
Yeah.
I did pump some healing love into our big boy Darioso as well. I don't know if he ends up surviving or not. Probably not. Or I did give
that
him
sounds
the
no better than
points, yeah.
how usually
What?
comes. That sounds
You're
no
very
better
quiet
than
on
how
it.
it usually comes from Chester.
It's because he has the fucking washing machine
Is that
on.
better?
Yeah, that's way better. What are you saying?
So that's no better phrasing wise than how Chester uses it. I pumped him full of healing love. Really?
Yeah,
So,
Our big boy? Yeah, okay, we're gonna. Okay, so it's one of those days.
Look,
Okay.
look, they're both big boys. That's what they do.
Are we ready
That's
to
why I
begin?
don't go to the gym.
Now, have you know that girl didn't not show up? He told you that it was a bad idea and that you probably shouldn't go in unprepared and that you might be underestimating him. And you did. And then
No, that is not. We
Right.
didn't underestimate him because it wasn't him. So that is not what happened.
someone else.
What, Todd? You just cut off immediately.
Yeah, I think I'm doing that a lot. Hang on, let me just fix it. Give me a sec.
Alright, so I'm going to begin by explaining the area that you're in. So there are two small ponds. They glitter brilliantly. The colour of the water is so vivid, so deep and purple and blue, and mixed with kind of like a transparent sunlight, that all of you are just kind of like gazing at it for a moment as you realise that it's a colour that you probably have never seen before. It's so vivid that it feels like you're looking at something magical, something otherworldly. Around you,
William,
cattails.
describe that colour, mate.
What was that?
Describe that colour for us. The one that we haven't seen before.
Interrupt me again and you get a wild magic surge.
Is it the color out of space? Are all of us gonna turn into space goo?
the
And
way I
Nicolas
can-
Cage is gonna scream.
The only way I can explain it is it all kind of looks like a tie-dye, all merging into one. The cattails move all in the same direction, as if controlled, even though you see no wind. Sorry, feel no wind. The rocks that divide these two pools are smothered and stained in these colours, as they seem to merge with one another in a cascade, but there's no tributaries or rivulets that fill these two ponds. Previously, Zerxel had seen a toad-like creature with an oily, scaly skin who had given him an egg and then run off. Around you, you're surrounded by tall, ancient trees that kind of entwine with one another, as if they're knitted together by some sort of primordial hand. The bloom of leaves and all kinds of plant life, all colours. There's phosphorant lichen growing up barks that turn into ivy that then dangle from what looks like mangrove branches. No tree seems to be the same. Every tree seems to be different breeds all in one. The ground is littered with crunchy leaves as you step upon the grass here. And as you do, the grass feels soft, fertile, and as the leaves part, what look like autumn leaves, all kinds of reds and greens and dark browns, you see the grass is this thick, luscious, vivid green. It's verdant, and you just... your head swim momentarily, except for Elzef. Elzef, you slightly, because you're Fey ancestry, get slightly more used to this, than, more quicker than the rest. But it does kind of make Makra, Chester, and Zerxel a little dizzy to look around this glade. Above you, the sky is washed in a perpetual twilight, kind of a bleeding pink, with rays of beautiful sunlight piercing through what looks like cotton candy clouds. Take that for some alliteration.
Zerxel never thought he'd get to visit the eternal plane of buffets.
I don't think that exists.
What do you mean? We're here.
Well, Master Makra, only because its existence has not been proven. It does not, it does not exist.
Yeah, but he is not it.
Oh no, this is not it. But if a wizard became powerful enough to create his own demiplane and to choose to fill it exclusively with buffets, it could exist. Let me actually just write down. Maybe that's a good place to, configure the portal to Eternal Pale Buffet.
Right, how the fuck do we get out of here?
Well, the portal is what we decided on last week.
Yeah, we're going to find the Fae Father, aren't we? Find your portal.
Yes, I think ideally without finding the Fae Father.
That'd be better. Did we decide how we're going to do that, though?
We said we'd go a random direction.
And of course you have me. I am well versed in traversing the Feywild. Done it many a time. It's like my backyard.
Please, after you, Master Decker.
Excellent. Of course we'll find this in a jiffy. Chester just walks in a random direction.
Okay, alright, so can you do me a favour? Is it just random? You're not actually looking for anything in particular then?
Yeah, he just gone off in a random direction, yeah.
I think we're literally basically dropping a stick and going Redlands, yeah.
Alright, roll a d8. We'll use a scatter dice. Why not?
Fuck it out. I will indeed, if I hadn't accidentally anticipated you rolling something on my character sheet and click that button.
Yeah, just
Because
roll it.
now life is pain.
I wonder what happened to your sound quality, Todd. It just sounds so weird, doesn't it? It sounds...
It's fucking crappy headphones.
Oh, I just realised I've got your mic still here. I'll just set that up.
Alright, so that's a good roll. So 1, we're going to count that as north. Chester, you begin heading north, part the tree line here, and you realise there is no path. There is no road, there's nothing. It's just absolute wilderness, and you end up, let's just say you move at quarter speed, moving through this, and you are fighting your way through vines, brambles, odd phosphorant and glowing coloured plants that have these dangling fruits that look like apples, but more look like they got hairs all over them. And you're just pushing your way through them, heading north. And you end up moving uphill, basically. You're starting to sweat as you move uphill. But your sweat doesn't stick to your skin, Chester. It seems to just float off westward. Just seems to just float off your body.
See, I told you. Nothing to worry about. I know these places well. That sweat thing is normal. Very normal.
Alright, so the rest of you, are you following Chester?
Last session, Elsef said she now thinks Chester is highly competent at just acting the buffoon, so Elsef follows.
Alright.
He's the only
Seems
one that seems to
reasonable.
have taken the lead, so yes, we follow with the lead.
Alright. Can I
Just
have...
looking for more giant crunchy spice, really.
Okay, so first of all, Cirxel needs a perception check. The rest of you need to make an athletics or acrobatics check to get through most of this wilderness. Oh my god.
Is this going to be just death by wild magic surges as Zirxel slowly eats himself to death? I guess that's changed the definition, really, isn't it?
He just ends up growing so many additional body parts that we have to put him down. And that's the bad end.
It just becomes cruel otherwise. Every time we try to chop him off, he grows back because he's part lizard.
Alright, so Zirxel, among the brushes, you are finding a lot of smaller creatures, like catch your eye. What you do see, as the rest are pushing forward, that they hadn't noticed, but there are these small, like, creatures being herded along the branches above your heads and around you. But look, Chester's just flicking them off as he moves forward, pushing through the undergrowth. However, you're noticing them. Small little kind of humanoid figures, maybe an inch tall, herding and hunting among the branches as if this was their world. And you see them capturing small little aphid-like creatures, flies and stuff like that.
Do they look edible?
They look like a small civilization among the brush.
That wasn't what I
Trick is to
asked.
stamp your feet as you go through. Really, clobber the floor. There's nothing here. Fear not.
I heard that was a good way of getting rid of snakes, actually.
Exactly. Right you are. Where is Grilda?
I don't think he come with us. I think he's still in his mansion. To be fair. I'm kind of hoping he figures out how to get us out before we figure out how to get out, because I feel like we're going to be here for a while otherwise.
Does Master Ironblood have a lot of experience with plane shifting?
No, but he's quite smart, since I imagine he can do some research.
I told you as long as I'm here, there's nothing to worry about. Keep stomping, snake.
Alright, so Zexel, and you notice one of these little creatures has stopped, looked at you, done this, pointed, and a bunch of them have little tiny bows, and as they fire the bows at you, they just tink tink off of your scales. You don't feel it.
Alright, well, now it's perfectly reasonable. They've attacked me. We've got to eat them.
You scoop up a handful, they just can't get away, obviously, and they all kind of wriggle. You can feel them wriggling like worms underneath the palm of your claws, and you shove them in your mouth. Can you make a Constitution saving throw?
Yes, I can. Yes, I definitely can.
First things first, they taste like cinnamon. And you have to pick bits out. They're like eating sardines. They got little bones in. You have to keep taking them out between your teeth. But as you're moving along, and the world begins to take on an even more vivid hue than usual. One would say very much like you had dropped a certain drug. Things in the distance seem to be closer. Branches around you seem to wiggle and wave. And you begin hearing kind of auditory hallucinations around you, and as you look around, you see a mushroom growing out the side of a very thick bough. And as you look at it, it goes, "Eat me! Eat me, Zax!"
Alright, seems reasonable.
And he goes,
Master Zexel, I advise against eating it.
You hear the mushroom go,
It tells me to.
"Let's aim to misbehave! Eat me!"
It
It's a
seems
brown card
unwise,
to have to.
like a trap.
What do you mean a trap?
Why would it tell
He's
you to eat
referencing
it?
Firefly to me. I have to do it.
Maybe it breeds by having other creatures eat it and growing out of their offices.
That wouldn't work.
It's the Feywild, Master Zexel. It could be anything. It could turn into an elephant once you've consumed it.
No, Zuxel told you this already. This is eternal plane of Buffy. Like the cinnamon
Bon
people.
appetit.
The cinnamon people! I like that. The cinnamon people, what the fuck?
I must disagree with your assessment, but if you mind, I would take 5 steps back while you consume this mushroom.
Okay.
Also takes 5 steps back.
Alright, first of all, con save, then a D10,000.
Oh, that's not as good. That's not as good.
I mean,
Or is
what
it?
I try to say is it is much better.
Well.
Is it screaming in pain as Zexel bites on it, or...?
No, wait. So you don't
Is it-
hear it. Obviously, he's hallucinating. You didn't hear the mushroom at all. And so as you shove it in your mouth, it tastes divine. It tastes like crunchy spice, but just marinated crunchy spice. 40-day marinated crunchy spice. And as you just see and hear a vortex, like a wind around you. You look up at the sky, you raise your hand because the sun is too bright, and at that moment you just see millions of crunchy spice descend upon you, and you go, and immediately giving you off technically frightened because you failed your con save, and so you run off in a random direction, running from the crunchy spice, trip over, drool, and immediately stand up and begin running again. However, to the rest of you, Zerxel goes and then just goes wide-eyed and just puts his hands down his side, drools a bit, and stands where he was.
Oh, okay. The 5 was for a random direction.
Yeah, I know.
But if I'm just standing
No,
there, that's
you are hallucinating balls. No, you are tripping balls.
For all possible outcomes, this does not seem the most terrible.
He looks comatose.
Master Makra, would you mind carrying Zexel?
What if it pisses on me or something?
Oh, just I assumed your personal hygiene was already in a state that it would not matter.
That's just rude.
Uh-huh.
Just because I'm hairy. Takes quite a lot of effort to keep this coat in this good a nick.
Oh, this is a good condition then, yes.
Yeah,
You're not regular. You gotta pick up Zerxel.
Okay, so nearby, Arne. Laneros approaches the Great Lady of Dawn's oak tree. And as you do, there's something in the air. You turn and you sense something, probably half a kilometre southeast through the woodlands, down the cliff face. You can definitely sense magic. The weave is different in the Feywild. Technically, it doesn't even exist here. Magic is wild and untamed. And every time there is a wild magic surge, you get a sense, like someone walking over your grave. That kind of tingle on the nape of your neck. And you do see, as you stand towards the cliff face, down below you, the tree line shaking in an obvious random zigzag direction. Whoever's down there is going in complete circles.
God damn it, Clester.
Well, it's gonna be one of those days, I guess. Let's see who's made their way here now.
Are you making your way there?
Yep.
And it doesn't take you long before you see a human push through a line of trees. He parts what looks like a tall strand of bamboo, pushes his way in. He's human, dishevelled beyond belief. It looks slightly hurt. Behind him comes a large goblinoid, a bugbear, with a sword in his back, and what looks like a large gecko-like creature, a dire gecko, one would say, over one shoulder, and an elf walking behind.
Dire gecko, I like the description.
You can only see the behind of Zerxel the way he's being held. And yes, Zerxel does dribble all the way down macro.
Oh.
Whoa.
Its spit is probably all acidic as well. Ugh.
Hey, what the fuck?
Oh my god, Rocket.
Jesus.
That's good, that's good.
Is that lagging? Is camera just completely lagging out
It is
now?
lagging.
Yeah. It's actually made the fans on my graphics card spin up.
Boy, it was sabotaging.
Okay, so Laneros, you can see these people travelling in your direction toward the Lady Adorn's house.
Yeah, I was just saying because I think my washing machine is very loud now. So
It is.
I'll be brief. You can show on the picture in a second. It's basically a currently white-haired elf walks up and says to Chester, "Well, I'd like to greet you on behalf of everyone here, but you seem to be lost, so I'm not quite sure if you're looking for us."
Oh!
What are you doing?
Chester runs in the other direction.
Maybe if you bring the mic closer to your mouth, because it's picking up more of the washing machine than you.
It is a very bold move to make a new washing machine character. I just never
I like the gravitas in the voice. Chester fucking bolt the moment she opens her mouth, and as she runs past, as he runs past Elspeth, she's like, "It's a fucking ghost!"
So Elzef, what you see is very clearly an elven-like figure, angelic almost in appearance. Kind of the fair hair. You would have heard of them. This ahead of you is an Eladrin.
Now, Master Macro, do you want to catch Master Decker, or do we wait
He's not
till
gone
he
far.
returns?
Like, remember, he runs at quarter speed here. He's moved 10, 20 feet. It's just fighting the vines as he tries to run.
Master Decker, I think it is very unlikely that it is a ghost.
Right, you are. I was merely testing you. Of course, you need to stay on your toes here. Good spirit of the wilderness. What do you want from us, sir?
Nothing in particular. I was simply seeing if you were faring well, as you seem to be lost.
Her voice shakes with 1,000 rotations of metal. Dear spirit, do not harm us on our journey. We are merely looking for a portal to our realm.
The material plane is where you're looking to go, yes? You don't seem to be from around here, and I would not know where else you might be from.
You are wise, kind spirit. You are good, kind spirit. I've got this, guys. Don't worry. Could you lead us to our portal?
You have your own portal? Well, if you let me know where it is, I can lead you to it.
Right, you are. Elsef, go on.
You will recognize it by the intricate craftsmanship and the current owner being the Fey Father.
Accessing the Fey Father's portals might be slightly problematic.
Will he not accept me looking at it as a checkup?
What do you mean as a checkup?
Well, I have created the portal. I think it stands to reason that he would let me have a look at it.
That's a different kind of portal than I was imagining, I must admit. You've created a portal. Could you describe this portal to me?
I don't know if Liam has already a picture of the portal in mind.
No, but I do know what it looks like. A large archway made of iron and steel, and it has runes decorating every segment because it's made up of 8 segments. When put together, they are stuck together by magic as if floating in the middle of the air. And yeah, it draws the Fae to it, not the other way around. It doesn't take you to the Fae, it draws the Fae to it, and it opens up a location in the Fae. So it has a very unearthly feel to it, the way it floats. It looks like something straight out of Numenera, of course. Yeah.
Elsef is basically describing that, except the way Elsef describes things, by starting at the bottom like a Lego manual and going through how every part is constructed.
I see, so there is a metal portal. Wow. Well, that is exceptional.
Yes, I've considered wood, but it decays.
Yes, I mean, most portals, of course, are simply areas where our planes are more closely aligned and one can cross over from one to the other without such, well, one could call them forceful methods of traversing.
Yes, we would like to.
You are wise.
I do not quite know where this portal would be, but I have been considering a trip to the material. It has been some time since I last visited, and I have business there, so I was actually seeking out the help of someone who might allow us to traverse this. It's been some time now since it was freely available. Are you aware of this? How travel normally works? You seem to be schooled in planar travel.
Yes, I have studied the manuals to create a different way to do it. Since this was done on a commission basis, on a nobleman's wish. I assumed he simply wanted to have intercourse with fey creatures as normal nobleman, but apparently he was working with your Fey Father.
Your is a bit of a stretch, but yes. It's still strange that the Fey Father would want a portal like this, as he has access to so many. I see him consider for a moment and says, well, if you would like to follow me, then I can show you... Well, I can take you to someone who might be able to assist us in traversing to the material, if you would like to travel with me. Otherwise...
Ah, yes, wise spirit.
You are free to traverse these lands on your own, although they are... Well, they can be dangerous if you don't know what to be aware of. For example, there are things that might look edible, which are not, or which might cause you to enter a somewhat catatonic state, as I suspect may have happened to your pet there?
Yeah, that's what we call him. Like a really savage dog.
Master Zerxel is a scholar of the magical arts.
I mean, that is a accepted tradition as well. We like to keep pets which are slightly more ferocious than the average traditional house pet. Although I have noticed that you seem to like the tame ones, dogs, rabbits, cats. They're all quite, well, useless in a way, aren't they?
Yeah, real savage dog that can cast fireballs.
Ah, that's quite an interesting race. Perhaps we should look at breeding those.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
How come?
I would also advise against it, good spirit.
But,
It would not be a fair trade for your hospitality.
what makes you say that?
Well, you see, it's a ball of insanity.
Well, yes. One that must be controlled, disciplined.
And I would never dream of shortchanging a fair wild ghost.
I thought we had agreed on spirit, Master Decker.
Right, well,
You may agree on spirit if you choose to, but my name is Laneros.
good to know, spirit. I humbly beg your kindness.
Well, that
There's
is
definitely
fine.
wait. There's definitely something wrong with Todd's audio. Like it cuts out so much.
Does it?
I think it was.
Sorry, boy.
It's just a bit vibrating, but you're able to understand what he says.
Yep, same.
Okay, maybe it's me.
It's
Then.
cutting out a lot for me.
Is it? I'll keep playing with it.
Discord issue. Well, as mentioned, if you would like to follow me, and feel free to take your pet along, it seems to be pacified for now at least. If there's something I need to do to restrain it, if you're having troubles, then do let me know.
Zerxel looks quite restrained. He's just got pupils the size of his cornea at the moment, just staring into the abyss.
I think Master Makra and Master Decker were merely jesting. Master Zerxel is a highly valued member of this party.
Ah, yes, I do understand what you mean. You quite often treat your pets as family, don't you?
I do not keep pets, nor do I keep family. But Master Zerxel is an intelligent researcher of the magical arts, and he has most recently slain the God King.
That is quite an extraordinary feat for a pet.
No, again, I must correct the earlier statement. He is not, in fact, a pet. He is a humanoid being.
I see. Well, those two are not
And it was,
mutually
of course-
exclusive, but thank you for pointing it out.
It was me, of course, who'd slayed the God King, not the pet.
Yes, Master
Yes,
Decker did burn his flesh alive. I was there to witness.
I'm sure I'll hear all about it during the brief journey that we have ahead of us.
I just pull Elzat to the side. I'm like, you don't embarrass me in front of the spirit.
I would not dream to, Master Decker.
Then we have an accord. Anyway, did I tell you about the time I bedded 15 ladies? Just continues walking on.
You see also that I don't know, it's clearly heard the remark, just doesn't respond to the whispers. And says, "Very well, at once, or
Surely consecutively.
Hmm.
How
Let's-
large was the bed, Master Decker?
The size of one of the Million Islands itself. It's known as that bed, of course. Shall we go?
But Laneros, where are you taking them? I've moved you to the map. Obviously the hut of the Lady of the Dawn's house is the large living oak tree.
This is very nice.
It is very nice indeed. Well done."
Oh yeah,
I'll let you live another day.
people need to see them, obviously. You guys are just northwest of the falls in the south, so you're just like over here.
Yep. So we will start moving towards the cliff face, and as usual, float across as one is wont to do here.
And it's hard going for the rest of you, but Linares, you've been here before, and you know the pathways that they can't see. Like, they may think there isn't a road here, but you can easily see it. Like the way that the nature's just kind of not grown in a certain manner, and you just follow that, and you see behind you especially I'd venture for Macro's having less trouble than Chester, but just as much, as he's just barging his way using brute strength to get through everything, whereas Chester's just getting tangled up, and Elzef seems to just be coming through in the wake of Chester. Like, every path he makes, Elzef, you just kind of follow them so you don't get hit or trapped by anything. Macro comes up behind, and his massive bulk just pushing branches and boughs out the way as he moves through. But eventually, you lead them to what doesn't look like stairs, but you know it is. Like, every individual rock that juts out is a step, but to the rest of you, it just looks like a jagged cliff face. And you see that Linares... Yeah?
Before we go on, did anyone take Xerxil? Because I don't think he's moving.
No, Macro is carrying.
Yeah, he's got you on his shoulder.
Yeah, he's got you on his shoulder.
Yeah.
So I say,
We have a long rest. When we,
I was using him to break through a lot of the like spiky plants. To be fair,
Yep.
I don't think you can take a long rest with your tripping balls.
No.
We all woke up unconscious, didn't we? Was there a long rest?
No, there was not. And Linares steps up easily, airily up these, what he calls steps, until the rest of you reach the top as well, breathing hard, panting, and he leads you through a small woodland, idyllic, spacious this time, so you're not pushing your way through the wilds. There are animals crawling and jumping and flying here. You can hear the song of birds. You can see the ground beneath you moving as small burrowing animals make their way around the woodland. The area is pristine, and as you walk towards a very large oak tree, you see it bursts out of the tree line here, becoming one huge towering figure of an oak tree, where its boughs and branches above you create a spiderweb of shadows across the ground. Beneath that, built into the very bark, is a tower. At the bottom, a hut juts out with about 15 large steps leading up to a large oak front door. The symbol of the sunshine is painted above the door. And as you walk towards it, Linares, quite used to this sight, the door opens, and in the shadow of the door, you will see a 7-foot-tall, slightly hunched lady. Her hair is fair and blonde. She has a halo of what looks like plants moving in a slow circle above her head. Her ears are drooped but pointed. Her cheekbones sharp. Her face kind of slightly gaunt. But as she smiles, she has teeth of green and eyes of glittering green. And she wears what looks like a robe of yellows, golds, and greens, all kind of like a Technicolor coat, just all different colours moving. And as she brings her hand up to wave, 1,000 bangles dangled on her overly long arms, and you see every individual fingernail is painted a different colour. And as she waves, she goes, "Ah, Linares, it's been some time, and you've been friends."
Lady, I answer it, of course, in a tongue that maybe Chester speaks, maybe Elsef.
What tongue is it?
It's in Sylvan.
No, Celestial.
Right.
Dwarvish.
Yeah, she switches to the common tongue and says, "You're all welcome, of course. Everyone is welcome to the Shack of Dawn. Come in, eat." And there's a smile. And as she smiles, you see she's got dog teeth. They're fanged. And she's got really thin lips that give her a devilish look. "Come in." And she just walks into the hut, leaving the door wide open.
Elsef just walks in.
Yeah, at that moment, Xerxil, you shake awake, and you're starting to come to.
I see. What did you refer to him as? Master Zerxil. Master Zerxil, you've awoken. Good day. And pleasure to meet you. And I'll greet him as he's hanging over my crushed shoulder.
How is this?
You're currently in a rather safe place. I believe your traveling companions are with you, and I guided them here after they unexpectedly got lost in the wilds.
Are we still in the eternal plane of Buffy?
If that's what you wish to call it, yes. Is that what the rest of you refer to it as?
No. Why you was comatose?
I was not aware it was called this.
Yeah, it's because it's not.
I disagreed on the matter.
It is called that, as demonstrated, but not by everyone. I think we can agree on that much. If you wish to refer to it as such, that is fine, but it's not a commonly chosen name for where we are.
Sit! And you see a rather cozy wooden interior. Thick pine beams above your heads. A large oval-like table filled and glittering with like pantry stuff, like butters, spices, wooden bowls, mortar and pestles. There are jars on shelves all around with assortments of herbs and animals pickled. And she points towards the seats, and as she does, they all kind of slide outwards, bit like out of just listening to her, basically. Sit! And she immediately comes over. She opens the oven, like a big concrete door. What happened there?
I think Curtis turned off his camera, and then suddenly the layout changed.
I'm on my phone.
I'm on my phone.
Come on, Curtis, don't do that.
What does it say under my name? Who am I now?
You always stay you.
Oh.
I'm not real. When are you coming back, Curtis? It was like right in the middle of a monologue as well. Oh, never mind. I'll just continue. All right. So she brings out a batch of what look like cookies on a tray. She doesn't use a glove. She opens this oven and a blazing fire bursts out. She just grabs the tray and moves over to the table. Puts them in her eyes. Careful. The oath cookies are hot. And then there's a gleam in her glittering emerald eyes as she points to them with a long finger and says, "Eat as many as you want."
Oh, do you happen to have any of that rabbit jam that you used to make?
Smart one, you. And she moves over and reaches into a drawer and brings out some of the jam. She goes, "Don't give it to any of your friends here. I can't have them tripping balls all day in my hut." And she puts the jar down.
I heard something about eating something, so Zerxil eats it.
Alright, so Zerxil, there's a hot, freshly baked cookie on a silver platter, basically, like on a silver tray.
Alright.
You eat up.
Are you sure it's food?
It is food. Of course it is. Eat up.
Doesn't look like food.
What about you? And she picks one up and goes to hand it to Chester.
I am, yes, of course. He, picks one up and nervously nibbles it.
Yeah, and meanwhile you see that Anaris is spreading some... It smells like jam, but it's like half savory. And it's just spreading it on the cookie, and then takes a bite.
What you got? Is that proper food?
Well, given your recent state, let me ask you a question. Did you enjoy the state that you were in just now?
Don't know. Zerxil not remember.
Well, the chances are very significant that if you were to eat these two things in combination, that you would enter the same state again. So, I'm not sure if it's beneficial for you. That's up to you to decide. I enjoy it. I know that other people don't. It's quite an acquired taste, usually.
It tastes like crunchy spice. You had crunchy spice?
Describe to me what you refer to as crunchy spice.
So it goes bzz, 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 and it's crunchy and spicy.
Not entirely, but somewhat. Yes, I do quite enjoy what you refer to as crunchy spice.
Okay, Zex, I'll try. Please, please.
And I'll just break off the part of my cookie that I didn't eat and hand it to you.
Yeah, he licks it, noms it.
Oh my god. Can you roll a d10,000?
Jesus.
You've done this to yourself.
I am a slave to my belly.
Me too, Zerxel, me too. Which reminds me, I still have a sandwich.
Right, okay, so I'm
Actually
going
brought his sandwich this week.
So I'm gonna copy paste it to you, and this lasts. I don't know.
14 years.
Until I indefinitely say so, basically.
Alright.
Yep.
This is
So
not going to go well.
how can I help you all? Those of you who ate the cookies, I need to know. So
I did.
Nope.
no. So Chester, the moment
Yeah.
you've consumed one bite, she leans in, as if she teleports across the room. She's in your face, and she goes, "Welcome to the Feywild, human. You've eaten of the oath cookie. You're mine."
Am I now?
Congratulations on your courtship, Master Decker.
Well, it does happen to me often wherever I go, but I wasn't quite endeared to it this time around.
Yes, you were saying 15 at a time, were you not? I've imagined one more wouldn't hurt.
Those did not. Only with a cookie, good spirit.
I do not recommend eating 15 cookies, Master Decker. You will have a stomachache.
What about you, big boy? And she looks at you, Macra. A cookie?
You just told him that he now belongs to you because he's just eaten one.
She looks straight towards Laniros and says, "They don't understand the rules, and they never will."
And he shrugs,
Yeah,
apologetically, but knowing that there's nothing he can do.
She's got a look of, these people are dumb, even though the rules make no sense to them, obviously. They make sense to you and her. How are they to know that once you've eaten off the oath cookie, then that no one else can take an oath until that oath cookie has been digested? How would they know that? But she just goes, "Ugh, idiots." Ugh. And then she looks and goes, "Chester, look at me."
Yes.
And she grabs, with her overly large hands and overly long fingers, grabs the side of your cheeks and then looks down deep into your eyes. And she goes, "I sense a great sadness in you, Bard."
I would like to go now.
As you say that, you basically are under the effect of a gear spell because you ate her own
Right.
cookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the compulsion exactly? Just so I can act that way. Sorry.
Yeah. Basically, you consider her as a friend. You're basically trapped by her, and you'll basically do whatever she asks next.
Gentlemen, it has come to my attention that this wonderful vision here of Fey ancestry, nay, goddesship, is worthy of our trust. Sweet lady, we are beholden to you.
That's good to hear. Now,
But you should get better food.
I'll kill anyone who says that again. Sorry, sweet Zaxiel, I didn't quite realise that was you. It looks like he's... Yep.
Sit!
Just sits.
She takes a seat in the tiniest chair, despite you guys all having the large throne-like wooden chairs. And as she sits, she hunches forward, and you hear loads of cracks and pops on her back as she leans forward, begins to spread some of the jam on what looks like a piece of fungus bread, begins eating, and then she goes through chewed mouthfuls, all food coming between her sharp teeth and dropping to the table into a bowl, which she then scoops back up. She goes, "So what can I do for you all? It's rare, seldom do a mortal kind come to me. Are they Nereans? They are Nereans, aren't they?" "Oh, you are." And she points a long finger at Macra.
Yes,
I'm
from
shocked.
the
Yeah.
accent, at least Master Chester is from somewhere else, and well, I'm not sure whether Master Zerxel would identify as Nerian.
No.
Royal Britonia.
So, Chester, how old are you exactly?
Me, I am a mere 26.
She immediately stands up and goes, "Shit! We don't talk about age in this house!"
Oh, I always forget. I do apologize.
He sits down. "You're forgiven. It was not you. It's him. You shouldn't have answered. Anyway. Yeah? What? What was that, elf?"
I was saying I suspect you do not want to speak about age because you yourself are quite old.
She stands up. And as she stands up, the candles in the room begin to dim slightly. The shadow elongates across and she goes, "Very true." And then sits back down. So, honestly, how can I help you all?
Well, they seem to be, well, a bit befuddled, but they did tell me earlier what their intentions were. So if all of you don't mind, then I will translate them for you into a more understandable phrasing.
Yeah.
They're looking
Yeah,
for a
that's,
specially constructed, what seems to be a crossing, but a constructed crossing of sorts. Elseth, did I get your name correctly?
Yes. And Elsa
and
takes out the miniature portal that the little spirits built and puts it on the table. This.
Now, should I refer to you as Master or Mistress Elseth?
No. I merely refer to the others as such because I consider myself a hired contractor.
Very well, so Elseth then for you.
Yes.
Right. So Elsa's here was explaining that she constructed a portal of sorts. Is this one that you're presenting now similar to what you constructed? Is that the point of the presentation?
No, this is a crude portal constructed by inferior creatures, but it functions in a similar manner.
Very well. So a portal that functions in a similar manner but of superior quality that was constructed, apparently, by order of the Fey Father himself.
Oh, I don't concern myself much in the Fey Father's business. He's
Yes.
dangerous.
Now, I think the purpose of finding this portal, and please correct me if I am misinterpreting your intentions, is that you wish to travel back to the material plane through it. Is this correct?
That is correct.
So, would it stand to reason that if we were to find a different portal which would fulfill the same goal, that would satisfy your needs?
Our current needs, yes. We would still return eventually to the other portal, but probably on our side.
Yes, so as you can hear, lady, please assist us in finding and traversing through a Fey crossing or one of the constructed portals, if you know of the whereabouts.
This is strange, you see, because the Fey Father's got many Fey crossings under his control, right? Like, he shut them down. He only sends his agents through. But maybe he's after an inverse portal. Maybe he's after bringing the Fey to the material. Did I? I never thought that would be what he was after. But now that I think about it, the killing of Titania, the taking over of the courts, he's definitely doing something. And now I hear he sends Rakshasa to the material plane to aid all of his daughters. I don't get involved, but I can get involved in a different way.
The multiple daughters.
Yes. Have you not heard, Bugbear? He's already succeeded in opening one of the portals in New Auckland, on your side. What, did you think Mokhul was the center of the universe?
Well, my universe, I guess. But...
Ah, yes, of course. Yours. If he's going to open a portal into your territory, which is right here, then don't you think that the portal would be around here? The material and Fae rub up against one another like wild lovers. What I'm saying... Is that
Master
both?
Decker, I'm writing this down right now. I need elaboration on the wild lovers part from you later because I feel like you have more experience in that matter. This is very important research for me.
But you are also.
You're correct. At least 16 counts after today.
Oh yes, if you plan to practice it with your new courtship, I would be honored to record this.
Right you are, haha.
Now please continue. I did not want to interrupt.
No, it's okay. We are civilized folk here. She's got a smile on her face. Her dogtooth green and covered with food. I can help you get back home, find a portal. I can help you in anything. But we don't just give things away here. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, being you are dirty-blooded mortals, and you are friends with my friend. But let me tell you, you are currently standing where Mokhul is in the material plane. Here, great magic resides. No wonder the Faefather wishes to build a portal here. But to find the specifics, I require something of one of you.
Chester?
I will give you anything, including my loot.
No.
That is very high quality loot.
It is good.
I would suggest that perhaps Master Chester is incapable of understanding what it is that you require of him, and he needs a more straightforward explanation in order to fulfill your request.
I want to take something of great value for 1 year and 1 day.
And what would that be?
And she
Speak and it is yours, good lady.
She leans across the table, but you all realise she's not leaning. It's as if her neck and body extends. She doesn't actually move from the seat as she moves towards Chester's face.
Can you say that all again? For some bizarre reason, my audio went so weird there.
Okay.
Very wild.
You genuinely sounded like you had a baby with distortion and a helium balloon. It was so weird.
Alright, so she seems to lean towards you, Chester, but she's still sitting on the table. It's like her spine and neck extend towards you. And then she says in your face, I just want a single word from you. And then I can tell you what you want.
What is that word? I have many.
You don't know how this works. Do you agree?
I don't know how it works. That is quite correct. I'd like someone to explain it to me.
I believe this is a leasing agreement, Master Decker. You're leasing a specific word to her for 1 year and a day, and the payment plan assumes that she then helps us.
Right. So, that word cannot be used by me throughout the duration of the contract, yada yada yada.
I assume that is how it goes. Now, this is tricky, because she does not tell us what the word is, so you could lose access to the word I, which I imagine would make writing your books quite difficult.
It is. You see, fair lady, I am very beholden to you, and of course you mesmerize me in every step you take, but I am Bretonian. We never sign a contract without understanding the particulars first.
You're no fun.
Well, that's something that has never been said about Chester Decker.
Master Decker, if she takes a word that is inside one of your books, that would put into question the ownership of those parts of the books.
No, I do not take the written word. I take the word.
So
and what word is it that you wish to take? Get to the bottom of it, woman. I mean, my lovely fair lady.
As she leans back, all of her spine pops, and she sits back in the chair. That's my deal, and perhaps you could try your luck with my sister. See if she fares any better with her bargaining and her deals.
Ah, please, sweet lady. I'll take her hand. Please, you misunderstand me. I merely wish to know the word before I commit to your wonderful embrace.
She looks at you, she says, no.
Well, that usually works.
Usually in different circumstances, perhaps. Flattery will achieve many things, but not this.
Macra, you don't have many words in the first place. Surely you've got one to spare.
That's what I'm saying. If I don't have many to begin with, I can't. That means I don't have many to spare.
Oh, but taking a word from you is not what I would offer. I take words from him because that's all he has. From you, perhaps I'll take something different. You've already lost your memories. I can see them dangling around you like false threads. I'd take something different.
See, I'm already losing something. I should take something different.
Yes, we told him what he's lost. He doesn't seem to recall.
Just out of general curiosity, since dealing with fake creatures is new to me, what would you take from Master Zerxel?
She looks at Zerxel and goes, "There's nothing I can take from that thing that will hurt him ever."
What do you mean, thing?
She looks at you and goes, "Oh, how rude. I simply meant that your great hate and immorality renders you a thing."
Zerxel, you know who I am.
I know who you are. I do now.
Good. You better.
I love how that wild magic sword just came in use then. That was amazing. Well done.
She can take nothing from Master Zerxel. This just proves that Master Zerxel is, as I have previously said, extraordinarily powerful.
The deal extends to him. If anything else, I'll extend it to him. She points towards Macro.
So
am I not available for a deal?
Yes, but yours will be harsher.
That seems like discrimination.
Why? You have half a soul.
Oh no, it is actually less than half of a soul. I don't know if you can see the precise percentage.
There's a lot of you to fill with magic.
Chester, rock, paper, scissors for it.
Right, you are.
Alright, type your answer in. And I'll do 3, 2, 1, ready.
Give me a second.
I feel like we would be choosing a smarter way of choosing this if Master Ironblood was still here.
A simple game.
Do the honor system. Are you ready?
Right, you are.
3, 2, 1.
Chester Decker never loses a gamble.
Right. I agree.
You agree?
I accept.
There's a smile across her face. Now, yours is different. And it's very strange that you didn't even inquire on what the deal was for you.
I lost the sacred right of rock, paper, scissors, so...
And just so you know, I gave Chester the benefit of the doubt and told him the word that I would take from him.
No, you did not.
I did.
You did not.
I did.
You did specifically not.
He asked me what word I would take from him, and I said no.
Oh.
Well, it's still cheeky.
When did you ever say no to anything as well, you little shitbag?
Look, come here, Macra.
Oh, sounds awful. Begrudgingly, I strolls up to her.
I hate that Liam Gordon's.
I've been researching all week how to play free characters, alright? I'm glad that I tricked you.
Fucking hell.
I didn't know how hard it was to keep a straight face through that. I was like, yes, I fucking can. Right. Macra. For 1 year and 1 day, you shall not see out of your left eye. And she immediately reaches forward, and in an instant, Macro, you make a grunt, and as you fall backwards back into the chair, she dangles your eye from a stalk in front of her, quickly grabs a jar and pops it in, puts the cork. You didn't feel much pain. And then as you try to open the eye, everyone sees this glittering ball form, kind of pure white and milky, and I shall see everything you see. Home entertainment at its finest.
Oh, Zerxel jealous. Looks tasty.
Doing my eye, little bastard.
I
Oh, that
advise
was
against.
horrific. Oh, they make it itch like this.
Now,
Has anyone else got the trait on eye? Zaxel tried shine this fight.
I like you. I'm beginning to like you.
Chester?
Yes, right you are. Oh. What is it you wish for, sweet Saxiel?
An eye?
I'm good.
I do know people, the offer is there if you ever want shinies.
Just any eye, or my eye specifically, Master Zerxel.
Any eye? Zaxel love eyes. Fish eye's good.
So if I were to carve out someone's eye, you would buy it off of me.
Yeah, probably.
That seems like a lucrative way to expand my business.
The Lady of Dawn leans into you, Zexion, and just whispers, I have a familiar spot open.
Oh god, he'd make such a fucking evil.
Fucking nut job.
And she leans out back and goes,
familiar.
the deal is done. Right, so what I need is a golden apple, a rattling rock, the heart of a hydra, and a starlit piece of stone.
Yes, now, most of these are easy enough to find. I think I should be able to guide us to find these items so that we may travel. However, a rattling rock, that I've never heard you discuss that before, so could you please clarify on what you mean?
In my sister's garden, you'll find rattling rocks. Delicious.
Oh, let's go.
Before we move out, is the rattling rock also allowed to be a starlit stone, or are they mutually inclusive?
They're different.
They're quite different, but
Well, obviously,
hey,
one's a rock.
can you not use something else? You know how she is.
What? No. If you have to deal with me, you have to deal with my other half. Me and you have something in common, Elzef.
Our extraordinary craftsman skills.
No. The fact that we both hold half a soul.
I see. How do you manage?
And funny enough, I'm the good half.
I have been thinking about reacquiring my other half.
Oh. Well, I would. But it would make this big primordial head fall from the very sky. Oh yes, you currently stand upon the soil that was once a primordial face. I'd watch out. The land itself might just want to reach up and gobble you. Take Macra. He has my protection. So Macra, the benefits are you get a long rest from a short rest while on top of this rock. You also are no longer hindered by all the nature stuff like that from here. You might want to note these down while you're on this rock anyway. There you go.
Well, I will inform you how my re-merging with my other half goes, and then maybe you will reconsider.
No.
No, you do not want to be informed, or no, you do not want to reconsider?
Both.
Okay.
Now, give me the ingredients, and then I can make a potion that'll get you all to your location that you want. You want to find this portal, or this way out. This potion will help me.
Let's find Rattling Rock.
Yes, perhaps we could do that one last.
I will... She immediately throws a map down for you all, and I will now put all of the writings and names on the map so you can see them.
Master Zexel, we require the rock. You will not be allowed to consume it.
How many rocks are there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there are quite a few. The rocks are not the problem. It's... Well, you'll see when we get there. There's no two ways around it.
Oh, turtle shroom. We should go there.
Yes, I'll let you figure that out on your own.
Right, so we'll get the... Let's visit the orchard first. Usually the Hydra lairs around there this time of year, does it not?
I believe he's gone into hibernation near the whirling hull.
Has he? Let's hope he hasn't eaten all the apples this year.
Well, it is there to sate him.
Yes, but it's always... Well, I know that he's back a year or two later, but it always pains me to have to take his heart from him.
He'll grow back.
Yes, I know, but every time a little less bright, isn't he?
Good. Keep me up at night. Believe it, there is a night here. And she looks up at the perpetual twilight and she says, "You head that way and it gets a little darker." Anyway.
Well, shall we be off?
Yes, you should. It's almost dinner time.
Yeah.
Dream eye. Is everything? I'm guessing things are named here to the obvious places. So, like the Golden Orchard. That's where they're going to find the golden apple. Or
I mean,
it might also be completely the opposite and make no sense.
do you know where you're going?
I do.
Alright, sweet. We'll just follow you then.
That does not mean that just because I know where we're going that we'll get there easily, or that because what I think is there. I understand that you have not traveled before, is this right? Master Macra?
Just Macra. I've not travelled in the Feywilds before now.
Right, so imagine the following. The material plane is orderly and predictable. Imagine a summer storm, and during a summer storm all the leaves are blown off the trees as they are wont to do. Now what you expect is that they fall randomly to the floor. This randomness is what the Feywild is like. It's a certain element of whim introduced into the laws of nature. In comparison, the material plane is like all the leaves blow off the tree, but instead of falling where they may, they fall in one line, all facing the same direction, very orderly and predictable. That is not how the Feywild works, and this extends to all aspects of nature. It was quite a journey to find the Lady of Dawn. I know roughly how to find her, but she was not in the first 3 locations I looked, and I did not lose my way. So while we might endeavor to walk to the Golden Orchard, we might end up somewhere else. This is simply the way of things. One should not expect things to be as orderly and organized as on the material plane. If one accepts this premise, life is much more pleasant.
A wonderfully flowery way of saying we're fucked.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. I thought that was going to be the conclusion of that as well. Alright, come on then. Let's just stumble along.
Have you considered a map?
Where we need to go. Sorry?
Yes, we have often considered a map. The problem is that maps are mostly useful for when things stay in the same place. One does not draw a map of the marketplace with all of its inhabitants because they change constantly.
So you're saying a map that would change with the way the places change would be a worthwhile project. I will write that down.
That it would indeed, and if you ever achieve it, then I'm sure there will be many people who are most interested in seeing how that works.
Master Decker, do you think this is a more important research project than my paper on the different prices of eggs in Mokhul?
Nothing is more important than that research. We don't want to speak of this again.
It appears I have to shelf the map for now.
Okay, alright, so what are we doing as you leave the Dawn Shack?
Well, we're going to see if we can find the bridge somewhere. I know where it's sometimes at, but
Alright, well, I'll
don't know how
need...
it is currently.
Whoever's leading, I'll need a D12 from you.
Who is leading?
I think we're all following the spirit.
Yeah, the spirit. Good spirit, the Feywild ghost.
Say 7.
Alright, so you head through the woods to the northeast, through what looks like a forest of massive lavender. Lavender, some like 100 foot tall. Although most of you begin to get itchy eyes, watery eyes, sniffle nose, like it's just too much pollen in the air. And I'm glad that Rocket's gone. And giant bees the size of tanks swim through the air above you into the swaying.
Damn it, you can hear it still.
Yeah, and they seem to be basically collecting pollen. And as you pass through quickly before Rocket comes back, as you pass through into what looks like a pine woodland with a fresh resin scent, you move on. Here it comes. Shit.
I eat them all.
Okay, right. So it's like so. One of them flies within about 20 feet. How would you go about eating? The buzz is like loud. Like we're talking definitely. Oh my god! What?
Come to Zuxil!
Give me a second. Right.
Is it my family?
Yeah.
Sorry, Liam.
They come to you. There's about a dozen. But dare I mention to you, Zerxel, that they are like the size of like full humanoids. Some of them are bigger.
Fucking brilliant. 24 hours to eat 12 humanoids.
No, the moment you go to like, are you going to go to harm one?
Yes, of course.
I'll say to Zerxel as he's about to do it. Zerxel, would I be correct in assuming that you're trying to achieve crunchy spice to eat? This is what I believe they appear as in the material plane. Is that right?
Yeah, it's crunchy spice, but so big.
Yes, these taste quite different. And
Is it good?
I'll pluck off like a lavender leaf.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to you and say, try this.
Does look like proper food. But he kind of takes it and gingerly eats it.
Yeah, and it tastes like crunchy spice.
Oh god! How much lavender is around?
Like I told you, 100-foot stalks.
Brilliant. You just see he looks like a crazed thief in a bank vault. It's just like stuffing it into the robe of many pockets that he's wearing. It's hoarding.
I need to let's just roll a d20, see what these collecting insects do, because you're stealing all of them. Right, so the ones that you've mass suggested just kind of buzz around you as you're doing this. However, as you begin taking lavender from parts of nearby stalk, one of the huge wasps kind of lands and then patters his way down and just stares at you. These eyes, faceted eyes, just reflecting you back at you, and it just goes, "If you wouldn't mind."
Does Axel not mind?
Or buzz off.
Could you indulge him for a moment? He's never been here before, and he really enjoys the taste. I'm sure that you're not too beyond sharing, are you?
Right, you can make
Really,
a persuasion.
we're all civilized here.
Make a persuasion check.
Well, oh, sorry, I still have my shit to jam.
He leans in, and as his mandibles are moving up and down, he says, "No, this is ours, and I do believe it's time to duel." Can you roll initiative?
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna fight it. Let Zerxel fight it.
Are we playing a children's card game now?
If he's actually incorporated Yu-Gi-Oh rules into this, I'll be very impressed.
Glorious.
I
think that's the exact same bee token I used when I used some bees.
It is.
Do
Of
you
course.
mean-
Do I need to drag myself onto the map, Liam, yeah?
I've dragged you on.
Oh, thanks, sir.
Do you think it's Yu-Gi-Oh rules or Yu-Gi-Oh anime rules where the rules don't matter and they're all made up?
Well, the first season's brilliant. It's like, yeah, there's someone blue eyes out drag.
The first season is like a D&D campaign where it's just like, oh yeah, I'll just break this castle and it falls on the enemies.
What's annoying is we didn't think to rest didn't think to rest.
I did, but I didn't think I needed one. I did
I
kind of.
think my token is not quite fixed yet, because I rolled initiative the right way, but I didn't do anything on the track.
Really? Oh, it's connected.
I feel like this is the second time Liam is making me fight bees in some magical forest.
Is it? Oh yeah, I did it. I did do it previously, didn't I?
He was fully expecting us to fight these bees as well. He was far too quick with these tokens.
No.
He has a battle map prepared.
No,
Yeah.
I have. What you're on,
So-
I don't know if you can tell, is a battle map with about 50 battle maps on it. These are for random encounters, and I've always had this. Right, okay, so we're waiting for
Zerxel, tempt the gods.
Chester and Laniros, but of course Laniros is having trouble.
No, I
I've done
rolled it's a 22.
Yeah. Mine's a 16, it should be on there.
Oh, yep. I can't see you.
Yeah, that's what I said. I rolled it. It's a 22, but it's not showing up on the turn tracker,
you
and I
roll
can't
it?
do anything to change it.
Did you roll it to yourself or something?
Nope, it's
No, I
there.
see it.
It's
you-
just above your 4. You
It's
rolled
8.
4, 19, and 6. Just
Oh, yeah, that's it.
22.
Yeah, okay, I see you rolled it. Alright, we'll just, we'll add...
Oh, come on, Bugs.
Right, so Laniros, they are obviously making a hostile gesture towards Zerxil.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Finally, someone who gets it, you can stay.
I'll just step away. Alright.
Okay,
I suggested a course of action for them to take. They didn't take it. That's my part done.
alright. This giant wasp above you, Zerxil, leans in,
Gives you a kiss.
uses its sting attack, misses, no, hits you for... Can you make a con save, actually? With its stinger? Alright, so you take 4 piercing damage and take no poison damage. Alright, the wasp behind here sees Laniros running, and with a screechy voice goes, "Yeah, go on! Off you go! Off you thick!" And then flies in and brings his little little legs up, and as they begin to move, they're casting a spell, weaving symbols in the air, and immediately Zerxil, magic missiles made of green fey energy blast into you for 17 nature damage.
No! Fuck off!
Swarm moves over to here and begins to swarm. Does what a swarm does best. And you're managing to avoid most of the Melzef as they swarm around. These ones are smaller than the larger ones, but they're still big. They're like the size of a forearm. They're like a foot long. Chester Decker.
You foolishly activated my trap card. Blue eyes, right, gangbang raid.
No, you renamed it.
Brilliant.
And I'll go here first.
All right, which one are you going for?
It's the north.
The north first.
All right, yeah, that kills it.
Nice.
You just cut its
Then I'll-
spleen in half.
Then I'll go here. With a
Alright.
second. Fucking hell.
Yeah, hits, kills it.
Jesus. Then I'll go here.
Okay. It casts shield, but you still hit and kill it.
Right.
Fuck. Then I'll go here.
You just miss.
Oh, that's alright. I can't hit it with the same one twice, can I?
That
No.
was a ridiculous damage roll as well.
You can go to a different target,
Okay.
though.
I'll go to the swarm.
I think it's not supposed to add charisma, Todd.
It's not. We did notice this. We did notice this last time. But
Is
yeah,
it not?
no.
I swear someone fixed it for me though.
Yeah, I did.
I genuinely haven't changed it, I swear on my
It's
life.
alright. It doesn't matter. It still would have killed them. And then that last one misses as well.
Cool. And I will end my turn with an Explanabag right at Daenerys, is it? You're new around here, but you need to follow my lead.
Right, you have to end within 5 foot of your last target.
That is true. I will move towards that swarm, because that is where I was. Skadoosh. And my turn.
Elzef.
I mean, at this point, summoning can kind of a waste. Elsef just casts Cantrip. An Arc Bolt. On this dude here.
Oh, yeah, it hits.
Okay, the Arc Bolt jumps to the one next to it.
What one next to it?
This one.
Oh, okay. So within 15 feet, yeah?
I think so. Yeah, 15 feet of the previous subject.
The next one gets hit as well?
Nice. Well, there's no other one to jump to, so that's my turn.
Alright. Zerxel.
Ruin the swarm?
It fails. Nice.
Slap the swarm?
Oof, does a nice chunk of damage. Alright, Macro.
Thought it was going to be how many of the swarm can Zerxel fit in his mouth. He doesn't really want to get involved with scrapping with a fauna, especially as they seem intelligent, but it seems like he's been given a choice.
What you hear coming from these swarms is like 1,000 tiny helium-like voices. Like, get him! Yeah, kill him! He's better than me!
My token. Well, I step forward, I rage, because I don't need to be careful of them. Roll 20 is completely crashed for me. No, that's what I didn't know. And I swing twice at the swarm recklessly. 18 and 21.
The 18 and the 21 do indeed hit.
That'll be 15 and 25 slashing magical damage then.
Yep, that managed to destroy that swarm.
Cool, and that's me done.
And then you hear retreat as the swarm breaks and begins flying off.
Retreat.
And across the river, the gently flowing river, you hear, line up! Prepare for a few. And all these wasps lay on the floor, their abdomens reach underneath their legs, and they aim the needles up and they go, and a volley flies over the river towards you all. Everyone but Leniros, can you make a dex save?
It is coming.
Oh, yeah, half damage. It's DC 15, by the way.
Cool.
I'm just reloading.
Alright. Do you want me to roll it for you quickly?
Yeah, if you can. Well, I get advantage because it's a dex check.
You still failed. So
Beautiful.
it's a total of 16 poison damage and halved to those who pass, so 8 to everyone but Macra, who take 16. Do you want me to take the damage for you?
Yeah, please.
Alright. Leniros?
This is really unnecessary. I don't blame you because you were attacked, but do you really have to escalate the situation? You could have just stopped after they stung you once and left, and we would have all been fine. That's my turn.
Okay. Chester!
Right you are! I will... How people don't look rough, but we did have that big fight beforehand, so I might play it safe and drop a fountain, I think. Yeah, why not? Let's take 14 each.
Alright. Everyone is restored 14.
And I will then end my turn, because I'm not going to explode-brag anyone with that last swarm.
Alright, Elzef.
I mean, well, the advice was not to do anything anymore, so Elsef doesn't do anything anymore.
Okay. Zerxel then.
Well, Zerxel not mind, but I need to learn to share.
That's so
I'm
funny
then
coming
gonna
from you.
then gonna pluck the eyeball out of one of the deceased ones near me and nom on it.
No. Can you make a D10,000?
Can't wait for a really bad one.
What? You gotta stop eating shit from the Feywild, mate.
But it's a giant eye. It's gonna be good.
Are you wearing any
Plus,
metal?
it's not the Feywild.
Do you have any
It's
metal on you?
Any metal on me or worn?
Yeah. Worn or on you?
Not especially. There's some things. Gold is metal. I'm wearing studded leather, which has probably some metal on it.
Yeah, immediately you take 1 cold damage. And you begin to feel very cold.
Don't like this one. Needs warming.
Yep. And you realise that the end of your fingers, your claws, are beginning to change colour. A kind of a blackened colour.
It's hard to say, things. He's fairly black.
I know, yeah, but like I'm saying, they look kind of like necrotic, slightly.
Yeah.
Right. Macron!
Thought I'd drop chocolate on myself then. I can't really get that one, can I? I could probably jump that gorge. How far across is it?
20 foot.
Oh, I can piss that.
Or 50, yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then whoop.
Alright, yep, you make it. I mean, you've got enough strength. Splash down nearly into the water.
I guess I'm big at this point anyway, so no matter roughly where I am there. And bring my Kopesh down at twice recklessly. 27 and a 30.
And you hear them shout, "Scatter! Scatter!" as you defeat the swarm. It's the end of that combat.
Zerxel, can we stop pissing off the local fauna, please?
Zerxel not do it. Ladero said to eat it.
Well, I gave you a piece to try. I did not tell you to take half their harvest away from them. Nonetheless,
It's not half. I mean, it's 100 foot. Look at it.
well, there's more than just them here, you know. It's their half, perhaps, that you took. Either way, perhaps next time, if a conflict arises, you should try and not escalate the situation, but rather try and de-escalate it to a point where we can amicably resolve something. It usually takes way less effort and results in a better circumstance for everyone afterwards.
Zerxel only escalate because they sting hard.
Yes, well, it's definitely a tough job being the bigger man or, well, lizard. I don't know quite what the appropriate word is. Would I have to say the bigger lizard, or the other one's not lizards. I'll just say bigger man if you don't mind.
Zerxel not might.
So I understand, but perhaps try not to destroy too much of the wildlife while you're here. Well, the lady here is quite benevolent. If you were to act similarly when we enter the territory of the Lady of Shadow, she will take less kindly to it.
Okay. But I can eat the rocks, yeah?
Well, it depends which ones.
The rattling rocks. They said that tastes good.
Yes, but it's complicated.
Okay.
Do you have a garden somewhere?
Me?
Yes.
No. Zerxel has nothing anymore.
Did you used to have a garden?
Zerxel had swamp garden, yeah.
Okay, so imagine that one day someone comes into your swamp garden, and in your swamp garden there's things that you like, and this person starts taking those things that you like, eating them or removing them for whatever. That wouldn't be very nice. That's pretty much what you're doing now. So if you take a little bit of anything, that's fine. If you start removing lots of it, they might not be so happy. As mentioned, she's benevolent, and so she won't immediately reprimand you for taking things from her garden, but the creatures that live there will be equally happy. But if you do this in the garden of the Lady of Shadow, well, that's your choice. I can't say that you're not allowed to do it or that you shouldn't do it, but I would recommend against.
But it's confusing. It doesn't look like a garden here. It's just a space.
Yes, the garden is quite expansive. Perhaps not marked in the same way as you're used to, but it is a garden nonetheless.
It's confusing.
Yes, I understand that. Many things here are for those visiting for the first time.
Okay.
Well, shall we?
Yeah.
You can definitely stay.
Further north.
Alright, so as you head further north towards the vine, you're going to take a 5-minute break right there, and we'll come back.
Sure.
We need a break because it's the Feywild, and everyone needs a break from that because it's confusing. And we'll be
This
right
episode needs to be called the Xerxil Whisperer.
The Xerxil Whisperer, yeah, amazing. Be right back.
Alright.
gonna eat themselves. Let's go.
All right, so
Well, it isn't
Laniros-
Feywild. I guess they might eat themselves.
Yeah, well, you never know. Laniros, you lead them to the bridge. However, it's very obvious that the closer you get, the more it seems to change the environment around you. Not to what you realise, and you realise something emotional and great must be happening on a material plane in this exact spot. As you approach this bridge, you hear the sounds of battle and crying out of screams and injury. And as you approach, you see spectral images of people fighting along this bridge. And Makra immediately recognizes the bridge that's overlaid over the Feywild bridge. It looks like the Cuson bridge.
The which bridge?
The Cuson. The bridge in Mokhul.
Ah.
It
looks like they just ripped it local.
Yep, the bridge. Laniros knows that the bridge in Mokhul, when it was built, affected the Feywild here, and a bridge appeared, made out of what looked like vines. But the bridge of vines is no longer there, and there's now a physical stone bridge, and you can see these shadowy figures fighting amongst themselves. And occasionally you see spectral images of people being kicked off, and blood spurts hit the ground, and the blood spurts become real. They solidify on the ground and begin to spread.
That's a bit macabre.
Well, I'll walk forward. It's not the first time that something like this happens.
So, how come this bridge is here then from the real world, but then most other things aren't?
Manifestations happen sometimes. Sometimes they're real-ish. Sometimes they're not so much. Before stepping on any of the holes in the gangway ahead of us, so I think we should check whether those are real at least.
Yeah, that might be smart.
And what about this one? Real or not real?
Well, as I said, we should find out.
Can we be certain that Master Decker is real?
Probably not.
It would be hard to imagine an illusion like that. He's quite a unique character.
And across the bridge, you see what is stacked up like maybe like 100 crates and barrels and odd bits and doors. Behind them, in a spectral image, you see what looks like Bretonians with crossbow bolts and long arms firing down this bridge. You see a line of Nerian guardsmen go down in a hail of gunfire.
Okay. How much of this I think is still not exactly illusion, but something of the sort?
Well, you do an immediate test, maybe put your foot out, and it feels pretty solid. You know, however, there is a large vine bridge here if the image should go. Because you know there shouldn't be water here either for some reason. There's now a flowing river.
Just so now I have a pass of 24 investigation.
Yeah, despite it being semi-illusionary, it's solid to stand upon.
Hold on a moment. I'll try to dispel it.
Alright, immediately as the dispel magic takes on, there's a wild effect where the dispel magic hits it. Then you realise that as the dispel magic tries to take away the illusion, and for a brief moment it flashes and you see the vine bridge beneath, that this is too powerful. This magic is made of raw primordial energy. It's literally showing you a vision of what is happening on a different realm entirely. This is something that the Feywild occasionally can do, and despite trying to dispel it, the Feywild perseveres. It warps momentarily, as if trying to dodge your abjuration, and then reforms with a snap.
Well, it is here, that much is certain. It is stubborn, so... Well, there is, one way we can handle this.
I suggest I walk over first, because my boots let me fly.
Yes, you might. Just don't believe everything that you see. Not everything might be here, in that sense.
Well, Elsef just walks on the bridge, and if the bridge gives away at any point, Elsef just starts flying.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, at that moment, Elzif, if you reach here, you see one of the spaces near you go explode in a brilliant spectral light, and as a cannon blast strikes it, makes the entire bridge shake momentarily, and it reverberates into the Feywild as a ripple of glitter and rainbow magic.
Is it pretty?
It does. It swirls outwards like a glitter bomb. Alright, as you reach here...
Unless anyone says differently, I think Xerxel's just going to go across.
Alright, cool. You can move yourself. From here, Xerxel, you see there are things among the crates opposite you. They are making no intention to hide themselves. They are swirling in and out the corpses on the ground, these creatures. Moving in and out, picking them up, moving them into the Feywild and dumping them kind of spectrally down into the river.
I like how the Feywild's so Scottish.
Hey, it's a ton of Celtic music. Give me a break. They do notice you as you approach Elzif and Xerxel. They both snap to, and one of them moves forward and goes, "The bridge has a toll."
Oh, what is the toll?
He looks towards his partner, and the partner's like, I don't know. And he goes, "We haven't thought of it yet, but the bridge has a toll."
May I make a suggestion?
Yes. No.
Gold piece. No gold piece? Or no suggestion?
No, they move up here, float above their respective guarded positions, and they look at each other, and the one on the right says, "Well, I tell you what you could do."
Please do.
Give us one of your souls.
I only have half a soul.
Yeah, we don't want you.
It stands to reason if they want an entire soul that I would not be considered. Is it negotiable? Would you take 75% of a soul?
They look at each other, and the one on the left goes, "No, we want 110%.
That is statistically impossible.
Can you tell what they're saying? They have their back towards me, so it's very hard for me to tell, Chester. Can you hear what's going on? I'm trying to listen, but the sound of the river is drowning out their voices for me.
That is most odd. I do believe they're after a soul.
Well, have you got anything else?
Why don't you give us your soul?
Hard deal.
Actually, agree with Xerxel for once.
Let's make a deal.
I'll walk over at this point.
We're currently making a deal. One of their souls for one of our souls.
No, that's not what we said. I could do with a fancy piece of magic. Points towards Chester. Says, "Song and dance as magic. Here, give us a song."
Ugh, everyone wants something. But of course, what would you like to hear? I've got toss a coin into your grill there. I've got fuck Xerxel run. I've got Blackflower and his forgotten children. What do you want?
I quite enjoyed Fuck Xerxel Run, Master Decker. I thought it was the only musically...
I will immediately string up into Fuck Xerxel Run, which goes very much like Alice, Who the Fuck is Alice, but it goes Xerxel, Fuck Run, it's Xerxel.
Roll a performance check.
Well, indeed. I just realised that Xerxel is here as well.
Yeah, he is.
Xerxel just assumes it's a kind of war cry for him.
24 years since he had last had Crunchy Spice.
He's only 13 years old.
Chester doesn't know.
He's only 13? When did the God King kill everyone?
24 years since you saw something so terrifying and ice.
Poor
Xerxel! Run it, Xerxel!
All right. So that's a good.
He's a tiny lizard folk. He works on like goblin years. He's practically middle-aged.
Yeah. The performance check is good, and you realise that you basically. What happens is, Chester, the moment you begin to create music in the Feywild, it becomes something physical. Its beauty transforms the area around it. The water begins to be clear of blood. It begins to glitter and glow. Small little fish begin to leap up and down. Buzzing, glowing insects begin to fly overhead. Songbirds begin to teeter down onto your shoulder. A squirrel climbs up your leg and rests upon your arm as you play. These creatures, made of shadow, immediately turn to creatures made of light. Their innards begin to glow bright white. Their shadow blasted away. And the one on the left is like, I feel fantastic. And the other one says, good, you can go. Toll is paid.
This is the moment where Chester got his profile pic for his character sheet.
That's actually perfect.
No.
He literally, halfway through the song, he just takes a quick snap and he's like, fuck yeah, I'll use that.
That's a profile picture on Tinder.
Exactly, applies a filter, he's done.
Oh, the best.
Brilliant.
Oh, since you two fellas appear to know how to extract a soul from another being, may I ask you for the method?
Yes, so what we do is we stick our claws in, we feel it, we get a hook, and we just tug.
Okay, this seems... if I brought you a creature, would you be able to rip out its soul and give it to me?
We're kind of scavengers, and the other one goes, Paul, mate, we're not. We're artists. Right, so you kind of go for the dead. We're like, you know,
No, I would bring you a living creature.
we're cleaners, you know. We take the detritus and we shove it in a river.
Oh. So you could not return the other half of my soul to me if I brought it here?
Well, no, I don't think we could. We could try.
Shame.
And the other one goes, I'm handy with a needle. And it's like, Paul, no. She doesn't. They don't want a needle. All right, you can go. You've paid.
What would the needle do in this case?
He's talking about sewing you back up. I don't.
Oh no, I can do that myself, but I appreciate the thought.
Anyway, thanks, Chester, for the song.
You're most welcome.
Just so you know, I have heard of you.
Fantastic, and you shall make it into the notes of my next novella. Feywild.
Thanks. I'm Phil.
You're quite famous, Chester.
I'm Chester. Ah, yes, it's sad that you haven't heard of me. An author by trade.
I see. Well, it has been some time since I visited the material, and... well, visitors like yourselves don't often come here to refill our libraries.
I must say, I quite like you. You'll make it into my next book.
Yes, you are from Bretonia, right? That is what you mentioned?
Indeed, the Million Islands. Longinia, city of bridges.
Yes, it's been some time since I visited, but I used to live there for a while.
Ah,
A long time ago, and on a mission of sorts.
On a mission of sorts.
Yes, well, onwards.
Ah, secretive spirit. I shall delve into your dark secrets.
There'll be no need if you simply ask me at an opportunity.
Ah, sorry.
Inform me.
Sometimes I speak aloud. Of course, please. I'll wait.
Well, shall we then?
Please
Let us away.
Please elaborate on your dark secrets, since you are willing to share.
Well, I said I would share on what the purpose of my mission was.
Oh, so you won't share any dark secrets with us?
Does one often share their dark secrets with people they just meet?
No, but it seemed like you would, so I thought I would ask out of interest.
Ah, well, that is kind of you to show interest, but I will not.
That is a shame.
But on the particulars of the mission, I can tell you. And then as we walk along, I will tell you that he was there when. Well, he knew Emily Tinkerton, but not this Emily Tinkerton. That was just executed. He knew the original Emily Tinkerton, and it was sent there on a diplomatic mission to Bretonia to try and persuade them not to build firearms, as that was considered extremely unwise. Just generally handing out the kind of firepower that wizards normally study for 50 to 100 years randomly to sometimes conscripted soldiers did not seem like a particularly great idea at the time. But they insisted that they needed it to fight off the threat. And as he tells you about this, you can tell that he's kind of upset that he didn't manage to succeed in convincing them that it wasn't necessary to build a firearm.
Elsa, who builds death robots, just not so long.
Would Chester know how long ago this would have likely been?
You can make a history check, yeah.
Yeah. Aeons ago, history check. Give me a moment.
Well, as a Bretonian, you'd have basic history of that era, but not like the finer details, of course.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know at all.
Alright, so you know it was 200, 100 years ago, maybe?
If you don't mind me asking, good spirit, how old are you?
Which calendar would you like me to express that in?
It would be very beneficial if you could stoop to using mine own.
Very well. By the Bretonian calendar, it's currently the year 964, I believe. And this happened around, 803, I believe. 803, 804. So by our standards, about 160 years ago. And before that, I had lived for some time. I think. There was a moment when time was a bit different for me, so it's hard to calculate exactly, but... Yeah, so...
It is a pleasure to be with someone who knew the forefather of our greatest military trade.
438, by your count.
I personally thought the design of the first firearms was quite crude.
Yeah.
It allows us to spread island to island.
On fire.
You know, I do miss Grildar sometimes.
What did you say exactly, Zerxel? I did not quite hear you.
Why would you set your arms on fire?
Right. I believe it's a misunderstanding of phrasing. There is a kind of weapon, a wand of sorts, that is used by the Bretonian Navy, and when they press a button on this wand, a projectile shoots out. They call these firearms. It has nothing to do with your arms being on literal fire.
We've fought against them before. You know the boomsticks, the big metal ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's just a colonial colloquialism then.
You could have an inspiration point for that.
There is many a reason to set your arms on fire, Master Zerxel. Let me elaborate on just some of them. There are certain monks that set their arms on fire as a way to combat other races. I believe there's some demons that fight with their arms on fire. It is
that makes sense.
If you are fire resistant, obviously, your arms on fire is more of a danger to your opponents than to yourself.
Yeah, I suppose it makes sense.
Have you considered setting your arms on fire, Master Zerxel?
Not frequently.
Yeah, it is a rare thought. Huh, setting arms on fire.
Oh, great. Alright, so you guys begin to pass through more woodland, close and pressing, but the Lineros seems to weave his way through the pathways that you can't see towards a large cleared patch of earth, some maybe kilometre by kilometre, like a very large football field with turned up earth and mud in neat lines all the way around as you hop the fence. there are these large apple trees. It's like a very large apple orchard. Most of the trees have been knocked down. Some of them have been pushed, denuded. There is squished golden mush and mulch all around the mud of the upturned mud of this orchard. However, occasionally you can see a glimmering golden apple eats several trees.
A beautiful sight.
It's not that good. There's nothing to eat.
Yes, as mentioned, we're not the only ones that like these apples. Are for them. The Lady of Dawn frequently asks us to retrieve one whenever we want something from her. She has kind of a love-hate relationship with the creature whose handiwork this is, and he points at all the trees that we knocked over. It's a savage creature in ways, but for some reason it has taken a liking to eating apples over prey. Perhaps much like yourself, Zerxel, with the crunchy spice.
Ah, okay.
Well, let's have a quick look around. Perhaps we'll be lucky and there'll be some that I've missed, but generally it is quite thorough in its rampage. And I'll go and investigate to see if there's any apples left.
Alright, you've got a very high investigation check, haven't you? So make an investigation check.
My passive is 24.
Alright, so Pendledon has done a lot of work here this year. He's eaten quite a lot of these apples. However, you can find half trunks, you can find like parts, cores, seeds, because of course that's what regrows the harvest for him to eat again next year. But you do find there are some apples, but they're quite high up.
Any of you possess the ability to fly? Well, I saw that you were suggesting that you could fly over, is that right? Asad?
Oh, you did not say my name, so I did not think you were speaking to me.
Yes, I'm sorry, it's just memorizing names, it's always difficult for me. It's not my native language, you see.
Yes, not all creatures are mentally gifted. Yes, I can fly, and Elsa flies up.
Alright, so as you fly up, you notice that most of the tree has like literally died off. As you pass by, twigs are falling onto the ground. There's a single golden apple. What's your passive perception?
Elsa's is, I think it's really basic, like 11 or something.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just 11.
Yeah, you managed to pick this golden apple, pluck it. It feels soft to the touch. Almost like kind of like not firm enough to be an apple.
Do I see this happening?
You can see them plucking the apple, but not like until they come down with the apple. You don't really see much. And Elzef, as you land, you have the golden apple.
That's not an apple. You probably would just want to like put that down and walk away.
It just puts it down and just starts walking away in some random direction.
And you hear a voice call out, "Yoo-hoo! Who are you?" And you see a turtle, his back covered in vines and lichen and glowing mushrooms, as he wanders towards you guys with a walking stick. In between his green scales, he has these red flowing, what looks like magma, like magic flowing beneath his scales. Leniros, pleasure to see you again. His name is Rolt, by the way. Rolt.
Good day, Rolt.
I'm just here collecting apples for this year's cider.
Yes, a meager harvest.
Immortality cider does take some time to create. It's okay. I've got time. He's got a little wicker basket and he's scooped with what looks like a trowel or something. He's just scooping up the mush, popping it in. He walks along.
Chester has his notebook out. It's like, it's weird because here they seem to farm as potatoes, not necessarily for them.
Master Decker, did you hear this about the immortality cider?
What?
The creature mentioned in immortality cider.
I did not hear that. I've come across it. He starts scribbling immediately. The other thing I could possibly use to gain immortality. The cider I've heard of in part of my dreams. He just mumbles as he's writing.
What exactly are you trying to achieve with this immortality cider, Chester? You seem to have taken a keen interest.
Well, it sounds like a delicious kind of beverage. You're a good one.
Well, if it's the taste you're going for, then... Well, Rolls and I often disagree about this, but... I tried it once and it's absolutely horrific.
Ah, I must try it. Good roll. Do you have a spare sample?
What do you got? What do you got?
I got some coins.
Coins?
Yes,
Coins don't do much over here. Come on.
I feared that might be the case.
Master Decker,
I have.
before I continue, may I suggest asking this creature a question? Does the immortality cider actually make you immortal, or is it just a naming convention?
Oh, makes you ageless.
I've got this diplomat's pack, I've got a strange vial, I've got a sparkly woman's dress, I've got a cloak of billowing, I've got a pearl power, I've got this dagger.
Wait, a dress?
Yes, right here. Only worn once.
Only worn once. Worn once has magical value.
It's a great effect as well, I
do own a bit of a thrift store. If you wish to come back there.
And
I would love to.
Now it's just right.
It's just like lead the way, good potato farmer.
Okay. And he just kind of wanders off towards the south-east version of the orchard. If you're looking for some apples, there's only a few left.
I'm looking for the cider.
Yeah, well, I have the cider, but I've also got some of the apples back at the shop. I collected what remained after Pendidon done his rampage.
Yeah, so we need to go and see Panadol and get them from him, I think. We need one for... Well, I know that you can use the remains for the cider, but for what we need it for, we need an entire one, and I'm hoping that he swallowed a few whole and we'll have to get it from him.
You're gonna rip him open?
If he's not going to regurgitate, then that's the way it's gonna go.
You're gonna have to rip him open! I know it!
Yeah, I'm afraid so as well.
Uh-huh.
It always pains my heart to do it, but he's so stubborn.
In my younger days, I would have helped.
The fuck are they talking about?
I do not understand, but as an artist yourself, I think you understand the value of staying alive forever and continuing your art forever, do you not, Master Decker?
Well, yes, it's not necessarily about the books, it's more about, well... Anyway, I'd like to procure some of this drink.
Yes, I do agree.
Okay.
What's the non-apple thing?
What Elzef had picked.
Yeah.
Alright, so as you walk towards it, it's the shape of an apple. It's got the gold skin of what looks like a golden apple, but it doesn't take much to see that touching it makes it soft. And at quicker, a more advanced glance, you see it wriggling and writhing.
Yep, seems good enough for me.
Oh no! Are you taking a bite, or you eating the whole thing?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, down in that one.
Arlene made this mistake.
Yes, Arlene Aiden did the same thing. Right, can you make a Constitution saving throw? Oh my god!
I've clicked it. There we go.
Immediately, your body begins to rack in pain. You take 50 necrotic damage.
Where's my token gone?
You begin to fall to the floor, convulse, twist, turn. The leg cramps begin to creep up to your waist, to your back. Everyone sees Zerxel bend into a U shape that should be impossible, and then vomits up a load of maggots that crawl into the ground. And you see the turtle going, no, crush them! They'll grow into a Golpheus tree, crush them!
Macro stamps on some of the maggots.
He's like, get them out! And as you're stamping, mud's going everywhere. Like, all up you, all up Elzef. And he goes, good.
Elsef grabs. Elsef gets one in a vial and stores it away.
It looked good.
Hell.
If I may recommend something, I would say that perhaps it would be wise to inquire about which things in that garden are edible and which ones not so much.
It looks so good though.
Zerg's just like, it was worth it.
But for everyone's sake and the sake of, well, the intactness of your body, I would recommend against it.
It would have been so funny and ironic if you dropped me to 0 and you turned into a vampire. That would have been so ironic.
Zerg's the vampire just increases his abilities.
Oh yeah, that'd be terrifying.
I'll add the weird maggot to my inventory.
Yeah, right, Golpheus maggot.
How do you spell Golpheus?
Okay.
Is that the tree that knows the future?
Yes.
Or is that the vampire tree? I feel like
It's the
that's
vampire tree from many different campaigns.
What was the tree that Ollie ate the apple from?
Yeah, it's a Golpheus tree. Yeah, you ate the
It
one.
was the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, literally, his last words before he potentially was going to change race were, "Oh, delicious!" I literally remember that episode.
Yeah, it's like the 3rd episode. Yeah, it's a Golpheus apple, but it was on the turn.
Oh, man.
I don't know what the fuck Elsif is gonna do with this, but
She's got one now.
she has got one now.
Alright, so the turtle says, "Are you coming back? I mean, I have
Yes, we're
plenty of
quite
cider.
interested in the cider. We
Okay,
will
If you
tag
got
along.
better food.
I got some food."
And I would like the cider, yes. I have the sparkly dress. It is yours for the cider.
Alright, he leads you back to the southeast part of the orchard, over the fence, and into the woodland here. There's a large turtle. Oh, I actually do have a map somewhere of this. And I don't know why I haven't uploaded it. But I will now so that you can all see it.
Oh, I've got the hicks.
Yeah, so he leads you to this, what looks like giant turtle corpse that's all covered in lichen and moss. He climbs up a ladder on the side and to the top, and you see there's junk everywhere. And a big metal vat with a tap on the side.
Quite the place you've got here.
Yes!
So, down to business, I do presume.
Yes. Give me a second.
What? Right, you are. Yep, you're uploading that map, of course. I forgot.
Yeah, so...
That is a giant chained up turtle.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, if it floats your boat, Liam, if that's the sort of things you have in your porn folder, I don't know what to tell you.
no, it doesn't look to be honest, it looks like a corpse of a giant turtle, not an actual giant turtle. And
Is the corpse still chained up?
yeah, it's still chained up. It's like kept there so it doesn't like blow off and just randomly twist and turn. But he is going about junk, and then he reaches over towards the vat, sniffs the tap, brings out what looks like a gourd made of wood, and a symbol's glowing on the front, a magical symbol. Pours the sludgy like liquid into the gourd, corks it, seals it with magic, and then hands it over to you.
And what would you like in return? It could not be that easy.
Give me the dress.
Ah, right you are. Here you go. It's still fragrant.
He gives it a big old sniff.
And I will drink the cider.
Alright, so there's something funny. Who's got high passive perception at that moment?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep,
But
nice.
I'm
So you
kind
both-
of in pain.
Yeah, but the lizard folk would be more keen to this because you know scents and smells. At that moment, Chester loses his scent completely. Has no scent anymore.
Just do you feel immortal?
You need to stop making deals with Faye, honest. But yes, you might want to write that in your flaws, Chester. You no longer smell at all.
I no longer smell.
You just
Is that
unknowingly
a
made a deal to give away your scent.
Me and Chester getting closer and closer every day.
So Chester he does not smell, or he cannot smell?
He cannot smell. And when he does, it transfers to the Fae. It's the Fae smell. And then he seems to wring the dress out into what looks like a vial. Even though there doesn't seem to anything coming out. Corks it. And then he goes... and then pops it into one of his many pockets.
It doesn't seem like a disadvantage to not smell anymore, though. That just seems like a good thing.
Well, especially if he's immortal, it depends on how it turns out. So what now? Is that it? I've drunk this, am I now... ageless?
No.
But that was the immortality cider.
Yeah, it's a cider that lasts forever.
Chester gets out his notebook. There was a potato in the garden. A rapist, I'm sure. His name was Rold. Here's his address. He just starts writing into his book.
Now, I am a crafter and merchant of trade, and if I may just recommend a name change to avoid further upsets in your customer base.
It's cider that lasts forever.
Why do you not call it everlasting cider?
Oh, that's a good name.
Oh,
I do believe the phrase you used was, "It will make you ageless."
Yeah, it's good for you.
But does it actually make you ageless?
I don't know, maybe.
well, I believe
I haven't died
there's
yet.
again a simple problem with the translation here. You see, I think intonation is not Master Roll's specialty. It will make you age less. It has been proven that every time you drink it, it will extend your life by some seconds. So extensive use will make you age less. It just won't make you ageless. That's where the issue stems from.
I feel like this is a fraud, Master Decker.
And the other issue is that we did at some point have the same discussion with others here about the never-ending cider, but then people complained that after they drank it, that it was empty and it was not never-ending. So you see the conundrum, I'm sure.
Thank you, good spirit, for that wonderful explanation. And Chester looks down at Rolt. You see, in the mortal realm, and indeed some areas of the Fae, your kind relies upon my kind, the Orthor, to spread good, reputable stories of your wonder and majesty. The reviews will not be kind.
What? I did you a favour. I made you some... I gave you some stuff.
I must say, Master Rolt, since half my soul was taken from me, I have not felt anything. Today, for the first time, I have felt disappointment.
You can have an inspiration point for that as well.
Destruction.
He looks sad and he goes, "But I did you a favour. I gave you some cider. But you don't want to smell. I took your
You
scent
not
away."
want to be rolled down an alleyway. Chester's already composing a song.
What did I do wrong?
Good day, Master Rolf. Nelzef just leaves.
And he looks absolutely perplexed. For him, that was a good act. There was a nice act. That was a Seelie act. He just doesn't understand. He can't compute what you're doing. Why you're so upset.
Well, the bitch has got to learn.
Don't you notice we don't leave people happy when we leave, Liam? We never do.
I mean, what did you expect? You want it we're in the Feywild. I'm doing my best.
I will type what I expected, Liam, into the chat bar.
Level up, fuck's sake.
Oh dear.
Well, I think this is enough distractions. Let us move on.
I'm having way too much fun with this Feywild.
Yeah, I do like the Feywild, to be fair, it's good.
We will somehow figure out the one Fey that's gonna make a good deal with us.
We'll find it.
Go through that many of them. Find the
Every research.
And so we've got Arnie's character right here, who's actually been decent.
Yep. So, where to next? Are you back to the Golden Orchard?
Yeah, from the orchard, and then head over to the Whirling Hall.
I'll be hang on.
Oh man, everything I researched drummed into me. The Fae are mischievous. They will make deals and do bullshit. And I was like, I gotta try and do it. I gotta try.
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to say is just be happy that we're in the.
I can't believe Chester has lost his sparkly woman's dress. You've
in
taken
the
a
area
from us.
of the pranksters rather than the unseelie.
I mean, as a character, Laneros is very shocked that Lady Dawn didn't take more from Macra.
Yeah, it was quite nice.
Yeah, she seemed to like him and Chester quite a bit, but like you've seen some of the deals that she's done before, like turning people into other races for like forever, or you know, making sure that whenever people get money, it just turns to dust in their hands and things like that. She's done very bad things.
Turning a bugbear into another race just seems like a kindness.
Well, at the moment, she's... Yeah, remember, at the moment, she can see straight through Macra's one milky eye.
I mean, Elsef would literally just say that to Macra, because she obviously has no respect for bugbears, as has been made abundantly clear.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm also imagining that the Lady of Dawn is having a ball of a time right now. She's just sitting there laughing.
Just as like an active time event from Final Fantasy IX, we switch over to the hut, and she's like holding the eye in the jar.
Yeah.
I love her roll, give it a knee slap.
Just make sure you wear like an eye patch in the shower or something.
I mean, she probably made the deal of her lifetime with the amount of nonsense she's gonna see just from Macra.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys head past the Golden Orchard, begin moving through the molten kind of crap that is the orchard, and you begin seeing, all of you, massive footfalls, like massive footprints. There's some like 6 to 7 feet long, about 10 feet wide, like the other way round. He hasn't got like weird feet. The other way round, in the ground, and evidence of trees being pushed over. However, where in the destruction that he's created, you can see more life is already springing up. You can see these bamboo shoots, shooting up out of the trunks. So then what they do is they join with one another, and you can see them hooking, and then they begin growing towards, shorten themselves, so they pull the trees back up, like self-defense, like ropes, that they bring them trees. And you are walking among this valley of pushed over trees as this is going on, and you see that pixies are flying high above you and following you in the trail, leaving behind a glittering trail of like kind of pixie dust, and they're all kind of muttering amongst themselves. And then you hear, "Hey, Elsef, hey," and this pixie's trying to get your attention on the branch next to you. "Hey, Elsef, hey."
Hello, greetings.
It's you, it's you, and you, and you. It's been a while. I saw you.
Yes,
the
it was
material
in the
plane.
grave of Mistra.
Yes, yeah.
I carry your portal with me.
Oh, well, that's good, I guess. I wasn't anyone that came and spoke to you, but I saw you. What are you doing here? How'd you get here?
We were plane shift. We are in search of my portal to
I can plane
get
shift.
back.
I can plane shift.
You by yourself or us?
Well, I can do both.
All at once? Or would it take multiple days to get all at
one at a time, but the Fey Father he's kind of denied planar travel out of the Feywild. That's why we built the portal. I told you that.
But you have broken the rules once before, so you could break the rules again.
Well, yeah, we did. We built the portal.
Yes. So could you get your friends together and plane shift all of us?
Well, I can do it myself. Yeah, of course. For a friend. And he begins to whistle, and all these pixies fly down in a big swarm. And they begin muttering among themselves. laying down on the branches and the trees around you. And he goes, "They want us to plane shift them back to the material plane. Shall we try?" And they're all like, "Yeah."
This seems like an easy solution to our problem.
Where would this be taking us exactly?
Laniris, you know personally that the rock that you're on is Mokhul City. Like, that's... You know that cities have in the Feywild, have a weird way of presenting themselves. This one, in the material plane, everyone knows that Mokhul is a great area of power, magical power. But that's because this is a primordial's grave in the Feywild. You're currently on a floating primordial head.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, over the many thousands of years, turned into what you see now.
Right, so I would assume that if we plane shifted here, we would end up in Mokhul City. Could you describe to me perhaps the events of the material plane around Mokhul City for the last 6 months or so?
6 months. And Elsif was gonna start with like the conquest.
Please do it in reverse order so I can stop you whenever it becomes irrelevant.
So most recently, the cult of the Feyfather appears to have taken control of the city by, well, I would not consider it assassinating the son of the God King, because they did not kill him himself. It was Master Decker who gave him a massage. But they have murdered the son of the God King after we have murdered the God King. So currently the cult of the Feyfather has executed the diplomats sent from, Bretonia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Bretonia, and kicked off an invasion into the city. As such, the city is an active war zone. Previously,
Alright, well, I think I can stop you there. So, by definition, teleporting into an active war zone doesn't sound like something I would want to participate in.
Oh, it would serve our purpose very well, however, because that is a big distraction, and we would, I think, no problem getting a portal on the other side. Which I think is not your goal, but obviously it is ours.
Well, perhaps a different location to teleport to would be more suitable, as entering a war zone brings dangers that we don't want.
There's a different entry zone.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. We would want to enter somewhere else, no? That is what the Lady of Dawn will help us with.
Well, I think we would go back to Mokhul City anyway, even if we get teleported elsewhere. Is that not correct, Makra? Or have we given up on killing the God King?
Have we given up on what, sorry?
On killing the God King again.
No.
No, yeah, he needs to go the rocks back up again.
So, it stands to reason we should just go back to Mokhul City. As such, I see no problem with going into an active war zone.
Yeah, Mokhul City, probably, that's where we didn't want to leave Mokhul City to begin with, to be fair.
Right, so how exactly did you arrive here?
We fought the child of the God King, and they plane shifted us.
Yeah, Rakshasha.
Well, that explains you getting lost so significantly. What exactly
Child of the
is your
Faithful.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's alright.
What exactly?
I was sitting there thinking, Child of the God King?
I'm just mixing up all these patriarchal figures.
I mean, Manarch was, right? So what exactly is your motivation for wanting to kill the God King and or his children?
He's a cat.
I'm just a contractor, so I'm just doing it because they want to do it.
There's that, ultimately,
Right.
what Zaxil said.
Personal opinions about his personality aside, what reasons are there?
Commits genocide.
Tyrannical rule.
He
What
has
I'm-
raised the taxes on trade a fair bit. Which I realize this is probably below genocide and the reasons to kill him, but it did make me a bit disgruntled when I still had him.
Didn't we have some kind of tiny person who was obsessed with rebellion and starting things? I can't quite remember their name.
I don't think Gwenda fucking hated the rebellion.
No, I mean Squilter, I think.
Oh.
I also, Chester can't physically remember Gwendeth either.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking that's what you meant, but
Yeah.
thinking Grilda, that is absolutely correct. Grilda wanted to rebel.
So what exactly happened? You mentioned genocide, but he's known in previous times to bring great order to the world and prevent many.
They killed all my people for artifact.
Well, this is not correct, Master Zerxel. He did not kill all of your people. You are still alive.
Killed all my people. But
no.
me.
Ah, thank you.
Could you explain the circumstances, please?
Shame he missed.
If it doesn't bring up too many painful memories for you, that is.
What you want to know?
Could you describe the circumstances, please?
There's artifact in temple in our land. All elders visit the artifact when they become elder. And he came to try to take artifact. We stopped him to start with, but then he kept coming back with more and more and more until he killed us all. I was alive because I went for reinforcement. I was the chief at the time. I had to go help find others, get help.
Right, so he instigated violence against your tribe, clan? What appellation do you use?
Either is okay.
Right, so there's an artifact that he wanted, which your elders use to... Well, when someone becomes an elder, they use this artifact somehow in the ritual, and he wanted to take this from you, and when you refused, he instigated violence against your clan. Is this correct?
He slaughtered us all and then took it.
Well, yes, that would constitute instigating violence, indeed. Thank you for your explanation.
That's what that means, yes.
Very well. I see no problem with your attitude towards him in this case. However, I would still not like to... Yes, what is it?
No plane shift?
No, I think we're still debating the plane shift.
Plane shift would be great, but into an active war zone, not quite sure how successful that would be. What kind of war is being waged exactly? The Bretonnians against Mokhul, you mentioned.
Well, it is a bit of a mess. Us personally are fighting the God King. The Bretonnians are also fighting against Mokhul City. Mokhul City attacked the Bretonnians. There is some lizard folk involved that I think attacked Mokhul City just because I was not. This was not elaborated onto me. The cult of the Feyfather appears to be fighting all sides, including us. The son of the God King is attempting some sort of power grab with an ancient black dragon. Again, this was not elaborated onto me. I would just go with the facts. There's a lot of fighting going on, and it's very unclear who will win. As such, I stopped asking questions.
Right, and so a treaty has formed between Bretonnians and Narians, such as Makra, and these nations are now at war with Mokhul City.
There's no treaty, I don't think, between Makra and the Bretonnians.
No.
No, but with his people, surely.
Oh no, they were subjugated by Mokhul City.
Yeah. My people don't really exist anymore.
So I was under the impression that you would be in charge of some army of sorts if you're fighting a war against Mokhul City. Is this not correct?
Oh no.
We're kind of fighting for it now.
We are fighting for Mokhul City?
You will need to rephrase what you're trying to communicate, as it is not very clear.
Yeah.
Are we not out to destroy Mokhul City, Master Makra?
No, just the God King.
Oh, we're just against the God King specifically. Again, I was prepared to burn down Mokhul City, but
Right, so I can place Chester in this. He's Bretonnian, he's with the Bretonnian Navy.
Oh no, Chester is not with the Bretonnian Navy.
So who exactly are you fighting with against Mokhul City in this case?
Do we have allies, Master Becker? It was not made clear to me.
We did, at one point, and then they all died in some cave, and then on the ship, and then they left, and then the rebellion fell apart, and then we got transported here.
Oh no, we've got actually we've got the blood now, the ex-blood now. They're helping us now.
Makra is the man.
We do have about 6 people.
Oh, the fallout of this is going to be a mess to clean up, isn't it?
We also have Master Macross children.
Don't have kids. There's political, there's a lot of political strife, and we're helping one particular house which we think's less evil than the other political houses.
Right, and how are the Bretonians involved in the noble debates within the city?
Some of the nobles in the city want peace with the Bretonians. Some of them seem hell-bent on not having peace. Mainly your Fae Father, one of the Fae Fathers.
Haydar.
And what would we call her? Just Haydar, yeah. You know Haydar, don't you, by name?
I know of her.
Small child, Haunt, carries half of my soul.
Yeah, that one. She under the disguise of another noble in the city, was actively trying to throw the city into chaos by getting the Bretonians attack, by executing some people.
Right, now it's starting to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
I'm still missing the part where who your allies are.
Like I say, there's a particular political house that we're helping out, of which I can't remember the name.
A shop owner is very friendly towards us.
Yeah, we're also mates with the shop owner, correct.
Alright, so
I'm surprised you're alive.
as you finish these questions, the pixies are getting a little bit angsty. Alright, can we go, or do you want us to at least try?
Who votes for the I think a diplomatic solution to this is the quickest way to come to a conclusion. I do not think we have to employ the rock, paper, and scissors method again. I vote in favor of plane shifting immediately, as this realm has taught me what disappointment is once more, and I would like to leave.
Is there nothing worthwhile doing in this realm then? No.
Alright, at that point, because we're going to end in a sec, the bunch of the pixies land in front of Elzef and say, alright, well, we were told not to, but anyway, plane shift! And as a bunch of them cast it, there's a second where it looks like you begin to fade, and then you snap back, and every single pixie involved in the ritual of plane shift explodes into a greenish ghoul. They'll just slop around you, fall to the ground, and then the rest of them go and fly off in a big buzzing pile, swarm away from you.
It is a good thing none of us attempted the plane shift skill, now we know.
And that's where we're going to end today's session, just as the swarm of pixies that try to cast plane shift on you explode.
Yeah, that's pretty grim.
I'm really glad that Gwendolyn is not here anymore, or any character with a conscience.
Oh, well, that was a fun time in the Feywild. Can't wait for next week. Yeah.